Welcome back to this week's Who Would Win. And this week's Who Would Win is brought to you by the fellow YouTuber Fabled Tome. Yes, Fabled Tome for all your Fabled Tome needs. No, this was Who Would Win suggested by Fabled Tome on my last Who Would Win? No, it was the Who Would Win before that. It was one or two before that. Yeah, it was my Megazord one. That was it. Megazord versus Voltron. So they suggested it, this one, and they suggested three. I'm getting to two of them this month, and then one of the other ones at the end of the month, and I'll get to the last one later on. But anyway, assuming I don't get any more suggestions. So anyway, this week's is Danny Phantom, the ghost boy from Amityville, versus Ben 10, the kid with the Omnitrix / Ultimatrix / Omnitrix again. Now, there's a few stipulations going. There's no real stipulations on Danny Phantom. He's fine the way he is. But there is some stipulations on Ben. One, I'm not using 10-year-old Ben, because 10-year-old Ben cannot beat Danny Phantom. 10-year-old Ben cannot beat really anyone in a one-on-one fight. I mean, unless it's like tailor-made for a fight against him that he'd probably have to stand a good shot. Unless he had his, the master control unlocked. But that's an what if scenario, so we're not going with that what if scenario. Because if they had any of these Dannys had the master control unlocked, then yeah, he could pretty much beat near anyone because he has an unlimited source of aliens to go to. We'll all have enough abilities and variations that if he can just continually go through them each without having to recharge the Omnitrix, then it just wouldn't be a fair fight for a lot of opponents. But so yeah, we're not going with 10-year-old Danny. We will be looking at again Alien Force Danny, Ultimate Alien Danny. Danny. We're going with Ultimate Alien Force Ben, Ultimate Alien Ben, and Ultimatrix Omniverse Ben. So we're going with those Bens, which means we're putting Ben right around the age of 15 to 16, which oddly enough is the same age of the series where Danny Phantom ended. So they actually both end at the same age. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, we don't know, we know Danny's around 16 years old by the end of the series. We do not know his general height and weight. He's scrawny for a kid, though. I mean, I was kind of scrawny at that age, but I had a major growth spurt, so unlike Danny's not very tall. He's not very athletic per se. Well, actually, that's not true. He's actually got some decent cardio to him, just in his physical body. But yeah, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I apparently wrote this in a So okay, he is not easily scared. There we go. Sorry, he's not easily scared because he deals with the supernatural on a regular basis. He's actually got a lot of fighting experience with the supernatural. Has a tendency to put all of his energy into a fight. He can tire himself out real quick, gas himself more or less. Can be overconfident and impulsive. He does have, I guess you could say, an indomitable will. He actually has very strong willpower for a kid. And he's actually decent in hand-to-hand combat, though he has no formal training per se. He's very good in actual, just a physical. He's got a brawler style. And his ghost powers, obviously it goes for him. He obviously says, "Go and ghost!" And then here's the white-haired form we see, obviously he can turn invisible. Now, when turning invisible, he can, basically, he's not intangible necessarily when he's invisible, unless he's in conjunction with that. So when he's invisible, no one can see him but they can hear him, all that stuff. He's not immune to thermal imaging either, so he can be seen on thermal imaging. Intangibility, he can face the things, he can make other things intangible. He can still be heard, though. Intangibility and invisibility are actually two separate things that just oftentimes go in conjunction when he's using them. He can, as flight, guessing he can probably travel by the end of the series upwards of 300 miles per hour. He can overshadow individuals, basically possess them and control them for a time being. Ghost Rays is ectoblast of energy, which comes in a lovely variety of tasty flavors, including finger blasts, little balls of energy. He can make, I believe he can do constructs to a degree. Explosive balls of energy. He was able to, and it's usually fueled by either his emotions usually fuel it. So fear or anger usually fuel it, to the point where he actually can incinerate weaker level ghosts. I mean, not super weak, but medium to low ghosts. just incinerate their molecule by molecule. Ecto Strike, Energy Ball, Energy Waves, basically, blast of energy going out in a waveform. Explosive Rays, so they blast, hit, and then explode, so like a concussive blast. He can basically do a flashbang where just, bright light, bang, disorient an opponent, either take advantage of them or other weakness, or, make an escape if he's being overwhelmed. Sorry. Repulsion field. Essentially make a shield, well, actually not make a shield, just an energy blast outward, so repulsion. Of course, a shield, reflected shield. It does depend on Danny's, some mental state at the time, but generally speaking, it's pretty strong, pretty durable. Duplication. He did not master. He can make 4 clones, but it drains him to make the 4 clones. So he can do multiplication, or duplication. So it's not the best ability to use in combat. It tires him. Sorry, I haven't been up very long, and I've had some stuff going on. So it's just, you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little jumbled and a little pausing. Anyway, so duplication. Okay, cryonesis. Now that originally manifested minorly in his ghost sense. He saw that little breath of cold air when he senses the ghost. Like, there's a ghost about it. Well, it actually turns out it's a full power. He can generate ice, control ice. He cannot manipulate existing ice, from what I understand. But makes him resistant to super cold temperature and even heat temperature, because he's got the cold body, so it keeps him cool even in heat. Explosive snowballs, which instantly freeze things. Snowball, cold energy shield, freeze touch, to basically just touch something and freeze it. So he has his ghostly wail, which is sonic, more or less sonic ecto waves of destruction. Basically, destroy things on not molecular level, but it's basically a sonic whale, more or less. He can break glass, crack stone, things along those lines. But it's also very tiring, though. By the end of the series, he seems to have overcome that. His strength is not truly documented, but it's generally guessed to be around between the 10 to 30 ton area, give or take. He's highly durable, stamina, reflexes, all of his, and he has a healing factor to a degree. His suit is also part of his powers, so that repairs itself. But that being said, he's been defeated multiple times by stronger opponents. He's been near killed several times as well. But to be fair, a lot of that was in the his earlier days, starting out. But he's not all powerful by any stretch of the means. He's a kid still. So Danny Phantom. Now Ben 10. Real quick on Ben 10. Ben Tennyson. As a kid was cocky. As a teenager, is a lot less cocky, though he seemed to get more cocky. That's weird. In Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, I watched those 2 series. I didn't watch Omniverse that much. I watched some episodes. Mostly because I didn't like the art change. The direction he went with the style didn't suit me. He seemed a lot. I mean, he was still a kid. He still acted like a kid, like a 16-year-old kid, but he was definitely more serious in Alien Force Ultimate Alien than I felt he was in Omniverse. So I don't know, but generally speaking, he's a lot more serious than he was as a kid. Still a cocky kid. He's actually decent at strategy, decent at hand-to-hand combat, just in his normal human. But yeah, that's not what you want me to talk about. You want me to talk about the aliens, and I actually have 2 because I had already written down Ben 10 stats for him, his fight with Generator Rex I did. So if we are to go by just the original Alien Force, he has, in no particular order, Chromostone, which was essentially the diamond head of that generation, of that 10 particular alien set. Basically, he's highly durable, but weak to sonic blasts. Can redirect energy and emit his own energy, basically color-based. So he's more or less a crystal. He's like a lightning rod, and he absorbs energy, redirects it. Big Chill. Big Chill was one of my favorites, by the way. Ice. He's kind of like a combination of Ghost Freak and ice. So he can phase, fly, highly durable, highly strong, and vapor, which automatically freezes. He can also phase through things and automatically freeze that. Echo is a little guy who can duplicate and do sonic vibrations, sonic sounds. Goop is more or less indestructible because he's goop. His slime can he's controlled by a little gravity machine. Get rid of the gravity machine, he can't do anything. But his slime can be either sticky, acidic. He can change its quality. Brainstorm, crab, super intelligent. Also manipulates electricity, electrical fields, things along those lines. Spider monkey, strings, spider webs from his butt, and I'm blanking. Oh, and agility, strength, all that stuff. Swamp fire, regeneration capabilities, methane produced fire. He can actually manipulate plants as well, so pretty decent. Jet ray, hyperspeed travel, neuroshocks, flight. Neuroshocks being laser blast, more or less. Humongosaur grows to 60 feet tall, durable, super powerful muscles, usually only about 20 feet tall. There's an ultimate form of cannon bolt that we would have to address, as well as Wild Mutt. Neither of them are much. I mean, they're stronger than the original form, but that's them. Spider Monkey's ultimate form turns into a gorilla with spider legs, and he shoots webs out of his mouth. Ultimate Swamp Fire can fire blue fire bombs or something like that. He's different for something. Big Chill literally fires flames of cold. It's flames that freeze things upon contact in his ultimate form. That's actually all the ultimates. And Humongosaur grows to double the size, 120 feet. No, he doesn't. No, he is bigger, but he doesn't grow. And he shoots basically missiles of bone from his hands. Then Alien X, being probably the most powerful alien Ben's ever had, more or less. Reality warping, time and space manipulation. Basically, he can do more or less anything. The only problem is he has to debate the issue with the two other personalities in the head. So that's not a practical alien use. By the end of the series, he did learn to control it, but that's Omniverse Ben. An Alien Force Ben and Ultimate Alien Ben does not have that luxury. So moving on to Ultimate Alien Ben, he also has Water Hazard, which does water manipulation, high-pressured water, highly durable, moisture absorption. Terrace Ben, which flight and wind manipulation, and surprisingly a bit of a magic user. The turtle, for those of you who don't know who that is. Spitter, slimy, acidic. He's like a pufferfish that shoots acid and slime. Snarrow, which is the mummy. Reshaping abilities, bandage manipulation lets him do stuff. He's strong, but he's still light. Shock Squatch, which is an electric yeti. NRG, radioactives, beams, absorbs radiation, and he's double as strong when he comes out of his armor. Sorry, I'm blanking. He can also do things like create lava, things along those lines. Neonomech, extremely small, fly, shrinks, energy, blast, and adaptation. Wrath, super durable, strong, claws, like a pro wrestler. Tiger, Lodestar, magnetism. That's basically, and some regeneration qualities. Jury Rig can make and break pretty much anything. Amphibian it can control electricity and travel in electrical circuits. Armadillo basically has these jacks for hands, durable. Clockwork, time manipulation, but not a combat-orientated alien. He's not durable at all, but he can do a lot of different time things. Fast Track has speed on his side. What the hell was this? Anyway, Alien has camouflage and a stinger and some laser, I believe. Blitzwolf has a sonic scream. So that's all of Ultimate Alien. And then Alien Force has basically all these guys, including the original 10, which we know there's Diamond Head, Ghost Freak, Gray Matter, Ripjaw, Stinkfly, Upgrade, Wild Mutt, Accelerate, Wildvine, Cannonbolt, Ditto, Eye Guy, and Upchuck. I believe you all know, if anyone who knows who Ben 10 actually is, you all know what those guys do. Astrodactyl, I believe, jetpack energy blast, whatever that was, atomics, nuclear reactor, nuclear energy manipulation, ball weevil, plasma ball, matter absorption in the plasma ball, and then it can explode, which is interesting. Block, construct, reshape, and regeneration. Buzz shock, electricity manipulation. Feedback, redirects energy in general. Gravitack, gravity manipulation. Toe pick. Apparently it has a face so scary that it can drive most individuals into insanity. And then there was, the worst. Who is indestructible. That's it. He does nothing else. He's this guy who is like this dopey-looking guy in underwear. He's the worst. Okay, so in a fight between Ben 10 and Danny Phantom, we gotta look at 3 different Bens. We gotta look at Alien Force Ben, we gotta look at Ultimate Alien Ben, and then we gotta look at Omniverse Ben. So looking at Alien Force Ben. Now, with the way the Omnitrix usually works, originally it only allowed you one, and then one transformation, then recharge. In Alien Force, it did show he could go through a few different transformations pretty quick, and then have to then have to recharge for a little bit, but the recharge also didn't take as long after that. But that being said, let's get it right out of the way. If Alien X gets involved, it's over for Danny Phantom. If he ever uses Alien X and he uses it correctly, it's over for Danny Phantom. However, Alien Force Ben can't use. He might get like one attack off with Alien X, but it's unlikely. So Alien X is like out of the equation in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien because he couldn't control the form yet. Now, moving on to the rest of them. First off, the way this fight breaks down is that Ben probably thinks he's an alien, maybe a plumber's kid, and Danny thinks sees him maybe transforms. Like, who are you? He's like, get out of my town! He's like, just blasts him with maybe just is like. I'm trying to think of like a line of dialogue. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Ben tries to explain. He's like, okay, you're not going to believe me, fine. So he just jet rays and tries to maybe take on Danny. So it's a dogfight at the moment between Jet Ray and Danny Phantom. Now, I think Jet Ray can definitely fight faster than Danny Phantom can, but I also think because of his design, kind of a manta ray pterodactyl thing, he's a bit cumbersome. He's not as agile as Danny is. Danny has the edge in hand-to-hand combat in that form, simply because he's a human. He can fight better as a human than Jet Ray can. Like, we'll go like that. He's got his, so yeah. So Danny's probably delivering some punches. Punch. Jet Ray maybe gets a lucky blast out of his eyes. Danny's goes flying, but everything's fine. They square up again. Jet Ray flies and fires more blasts. Energy shield. Ben bounces off the energy shield. So it's like, okay, this ain't gonna work. So now I gotta go to something else. So then he goes probably to Big Chill. Big Chill can also fly and would probably have a better repertoire against Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom would be like, okay, so he can change his form. All right, fine. Try on this, and then he just gets a several energy blasts, and Ben just phases what, and then just boom. Punches Danny in the face. Some ice forms. Actually goes, and then just freezes him in a block. And then but then Danny just phases through the edge. Like, what? He can phase too? It's like, so you are a ghost. I'm not, or I'm trying to remember a Big Chill spoke. I'm not a ghost. I'm an alien. What? Don't make aliens don't exist. Well, ghosts don't exist. So the fight continues, and it's kind of going back. Thing is, they'll both counter each other going intangible. That's the interesting thing. The moment they both try to maybe go intangible, they'll bump into each other. So they're going to actually duke it out in intangibility for a while, where at that point, I think Ben has the edge in hand-to-hand. Overall, I think Ben actually has the edge in hand-to-hand combat because he actually has had formal training in hand-to-hand combat. He also has enough aliens to switch between that. So he goes back and forth. But Danny also has cold abilities, so he gets his cryokinesis on. So now those aren't doing anything. So now Ben's on the ground. He hears a choo-choo-choo-choo. It's like, all right, time to... All right. And it's like, oh, come on. No, he's probably got some energy left. So he goes in for one last alien. And the alien he's probably going to choose for this run because he's got to figure out how to deal with Danny's abilities. I'm going to guess he's going to go with Chroma Stone. And the reason I say Chroma Stone is because he's seen that Danny has energy capabilities, including the ice capabilities. And comes in, he's like, oh, now you're just a crystal? Well, now I'm trying to smash that crystal, or something like that, because Danny never had really good lines. So he just had a giant energy blast. Boom! It's like, and then Ben at that point just absorbs the ecto energy. He's like, huh? And then just blasts Danny back. Danny at this point is hurting. Chromastone's still standing fine. It's like, oh, okay, you want to go? Let's go. Yeah, blast, because Danny's not the one for strategy. So he's going to, and now, that being said, the concussive capabilities of ecto energy could hurt Ben to some degree, but mostly he's just going to keep absorbing it, charge in. Danny maybe tries to overshadow him, but the Omnitrix prevents that, so that's not going to work. Then he gets blasted again by Ben's energy blast. Danny again just is like, ugh, and then he's running out of ideas at this point, so he probably just goes with the whale, and that's the part that's going to drop Chromosome, because the crystal shatters against the starting to shatter against the sonic whale. So Ben just phases out the form and then just gets blown back. Now, if in any other sense, does any alien have stand a chance of actually beating him? I'd say Echo could possibly counteract. I mean, he can duplicate himself enough that it would just, the sonic vibrations would probably just knock Danny out at that point. Just Echo, woo! And maybe just knock Danny out, and then or their waves clash against each other, causing kind of like an explosive effect. Spider Monkey could outmaneuver and outfight Ben, but Ben has just far more Danny, but Danny has far more versatility on his side. Swamp Fire could definitely handle a lot of what Ben could dish out, but Ben's fought things like he's fought Overgrowth, which is nothing more than a giant Swamp Fire minus the fire capabilities. So he could easily probably take on Swamp Fire. Humongosaur would definitely give him some trouble, though. Humongosaur's size and power would definitely cause Danny to rethink, because the Humongosaur has the durability to withstand a lot of stuff that Danny could dish out. Truth be told, I can't think of much that he could do to Humongosaur that wouldn't put him down, or could put him down. Danny doesn't have the firepower, really. Even at his strongest, in terms of pure offensive capabilities, he doesn't have the firepower to put down Humongosaur when he's at full power. So, if any alien is going to give this fight to Ben, it's probably going to be Humongosaur for sheer power and durability. If he can get one solid hit on Danny, Danny's going down probably. So, in a fight between Alien Force Ben and Danny Phantom, I would give it more or less to Danny Phantom for the overall, just because of versatility to counteract most of Ben's aliens, and he doesn't need to transform at all. But with the few exceptions of, again, and Goop could, now Danny could probably figure out that Goop's gravity thing could be taken out. So I would say that against Alien Force Ben, Danny's actually going to win most of the time. Provided Humongosaur or maybe Echo doesn't get involved. Otherwise, I'd lean it more towards Danny. He's doing that. I lean more towards Ben, but I'd say it's about 80-20 in Danny's favor for an Alien Force fight. Against Ultimate Ben, none of the Ultimate forms really have enough power to do much difference than their other forms, but that means Ben also has access to all of his other aliens. Now, I'm just going to lay it on flat right here. More or less going to say which aliens probably could take out Danny, as opposed to going through all of them again, because that's a lot. The aliens I think that could probably take down Danny are as follows. I would say that Clockwork could definitely take down Danny, because he's not only capable of time manipulation, he can do time fields, time dilation, all that stuff. He could literally reverse Danny's power. Granted, Clockwork's not a combat specialized alien, but if he's able to get any sort of time field on Danny, he could easily revert Danny to like a younger state before he was a ghost or anything like that. So Clockwork definitely could take out Danny. As apart from that, though, maybe Jury-Rig could jury-rig something that takes out Danny. Wrath has the durability to take out Danny. NRG also has the power overall to take out Danny. Other than that, though, none of his other Ultimate Aliens really have the capability of taking Danny out. But Danny has also the weakness of being overconfident. So those are the ones from just a pure ability standpoint, I think could probably take Danny down. Maybe Lodestar too in the right circumstance. Then we get to Omniverse Danny, and Omniverse Danny can more or less beat Ben. I keep saying Danny. Forgive me for going back. Omniverse Ben. Omniverse Ben can beat Danny Phantom hands down because by the end of that series he could use Alien X all he wanted. So when you can use a guy who can manipulate reality and warp space and time and basically create an entirely new identical universe to the one that was being destroyed, you can't be beat by just Danny Phantom. So, and of course he also has Atomics, which is a living nuclear reactor. Topic, which has a scary space level, can drive you to insanity, which, despite fighting ghosts, none of the ghosts he's ever fought have ever been that scary. So again, against Alien Force Danny, Alien Force Ben, I'd say Danny Phantom wins 80-20. Against Ultimate Alien Ben, I'd actually say that versatility-wise, he still has the edge. I mean, in terms of just... It's an odd thing to say because Ben has all these aliens, but not versatility, but just because Danny doesn't need to transition between forms to use all of his abilities, that's why he's more versatile than Danny. That's why he's got an edge up on... I keep doing that, my God. I don't know why you keep calling Ben Danny and Danny Ben. Because Danny Phantom does not need to change forms and willingly change forms, consciously change forms to use all of his abilities, he has a more versatile edge over Ben Tennyson in many regards. Unless Ben had the master controls, which he almost never does. But against Ultimate Ben, Ultimate Ben has a few other aliens that can take on Danny Phantom and win. So I'd say I'd lean it more to like a 65-35 in favor of Danny Phantom still. But against Omniverse Ben Tennyson, who has basically complete control over Alien X, Atomics, Clockwork, all those guys, Topic, these guys, Ben 10 wins 100% of the time in with Omniverse Ben 10. And don't get me started on the alternate future Ben 10s. I'm not doing that. This video already went on longer than I intended to do. So again, so overall though, two out of 3 times, Danny Phantom wins the majority. But that when you're dealing with Ben, who has control over basically all his aliens, Ben wins 100% of the time. So in that 1 out of 3 scenario, Ben wins 100% of the time. Otherwise, Danny wins overall. I know it sounds weird. So I'm more or less saying that Danny Phantom wins the overall fight. But there's certainly scenarios where Ben wins. So, yeah. Sorry that one was such a mess. But there was a lot of information. Trust me when I say the next one I do will be a lot simpler and a lot more entertaining for me to talk about. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Ben 10 versus Danny Phantom. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you, Fabletone, for the suggestion. If you have any others, please let me know. I'll do them at some point. I have another one set for next week. That's another requested one. And that one, I will save the name of that one for next week because that one is interesting. And I think the Fabletone knows which one I'm talking about, the one I had to look it up because I asked about who the hell that character was. And I watched episodes of the show that character was a part of. Interesting, to say the least. Anyway, though, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, or if you have an idea for who would win, put it in the comments below. Let us know. I will get to it at some point. Tomorrow is a Star Wars video. Friday will be Ghostbusters. If there's any extra movie news, I'll be talking about movie news. Trailers will be up. I actually will be uploading a trailer to the channel in a little while. Because today, supposedly, the people who I worked with on the movie, I worked on a movie called Silenced. It's a horror movie. I'm not giving away any of the plot, but it's a psychological movie. And it's been so long since we've had any news because we finished filming this movie over a year ago. I think it's been in post production. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's been it's been well over a year at this point. But we finished the post production. Basically, we finished the filming. Then everyone's in post production, the sound, treble, all that stuff, bass, and finally we got an announcement that our first trailer is dropping today. So the moment that they put the trailer up, I will actually upload that trailer to the channel to give you guys an idea of the movie that I helped work on. I only helped work on. I didn't make the movie. I didn't direct the movie. I have a brief cameo in I have a non-dialogue cameo in the movie. Yeah, so I helped work on this movie, so I'm proud of it. I'm proud I helped work on something like that. Hopefully I'll be working on other movies in the future with my friends who did that. And when I say a movie, it's not just like, hey, this is a movie we worked on, might get like a DVD. No, this is actually supposedly getting a theatrical release. Like around 80 to 100 theaters is the minimum that he's thinking of possibly hopefully getting it in. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that as well. Any trailer reactions. Actually, the Rogue One trailer is dropping on. You know what? I'm going to save Star Wars from tomorrow because the new Rogue One trailer is supposedly dropping on Friday. So I'm going to save Star Wars for Friday as well. So thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for dragging all this out. I know this one was a jumble and a mess, and I was saying Danny when I meant Ben and Ben when I meant Danny. It's been a weird couple of days for me. I'm kind of in a weird funk. Anyway, I digress. I'm stalling. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.